Okay, Charlotte's just on now, guys. So just let your teams know.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. This is Charlotte Venter, your Elite Pro 9 leader in Team Activate. And tonight is quite a big night. We're going to discuss with you the launch of New Zealand and exactly step by step what's going to happen to existing distributors, new distributors, customers, and also the shipping, the cost of the products, the cost of the packs, etc. So I hope you've got your questions ready. Please keep them handy. Make sure that by the end of the night we have answered all of them. If we haven't, then we're going to unmute at the end of it, stop the recording, and just go through any questions that you may have. So this is me. I live on the Sunshine Coast of Australia. I have been with LifeVantage since April 2016 and love this company, love the product and what it does for people. We are super excited if you've recently joined us as a distributor on the last week since we've had our previous training. And just want to say a huge, big welcome. Thank you for trusting us, for working with us, and for helping us share these amazing products. We know that they do impact people's lives in a really positive way. And that's what we're all about, is we want to help people feel the best they've ever felt and also have absolute choice of life and freedom when it comes to time and money and options. That's really what we're all about. So welcome. Please do reach out to your sponsor, to the leaders above that, who can help you learn, plug into our systems, plug into all of our training, get familiar with our teamactivate.net website, as well as activatemylife.net is another website that you can use as a tool. When somebody says to you, what do you do? What is the product about? You can send that. It's a very easy tool to use. Reminder that tomorrow night we have on the same Zoom number at the same time, we have a training on what we call DMOs, which is our daily method of operation. And we teach you hands-on what you can do on social media to build your business. Tomorrow night, I believe we will do some more how to invite people to the Brian Dixon tour that's coming up. And if you're not familiar with that tour, there's a flyer here for you. This starts tomorrow night in Perth. Kate is going to be on the stage with a very amazing Dr. Brian Dixon. He is our chief scientist, vice president actually, and chief scientist of research and development for LifeVantage, and an amazing guy. He's been in our profession for about 12, 15 years, was with a company called Usana, and he's very much loved, and we're also so grateful to have him. Brian is going to be in Perth tomorrow night, then Wednesday night we'll be in Sydney, Friday night it's going to be in Brisbane, and on Sunday we'll be in Auckland, New Zealand. So if you have not yet invited to that event, join the DMO training tomorrow night. Will help you learn what you're saying, how to invite people, and already I know that the numbers have maxed out everywhere. We are working with the different venues to have the rooms opened up to a larger facility. So keep inviting. This is going to be an absolute game changer for your business. But I'm going to hop straight into launching New Zealand. So finally, we've been working on this for over a year, if not longer actually. And finally, New Zealand is about to launch. I remember the day that I called Cortland from my car. Cortland is our vice president for our market. And I remember saying to him, Cortland, I do believe that we can show you that there's enough business in New Zealand. And if we do that, will you open the market? And at that time, it was really a if, maybe, hopefully. And today, friends, we have done it. We have proven that there's sufficient need for our product there, and we are launching. So When is the opening date of the New Zealand market? Well, it is official. LifeVantage will formally commence business in New Zealand on November the 12th, New Zealand time. So that's only just less than 2 weeks away, right? I think it's on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, or Thursday, I can't remember. Okay, so what is the contact information for New Zealand customer service? Take a screenshot of this. We will make sure all this information goes onto our website, so it's handy for you. But here's a customer service hours especially. So you'll see that there's different dates. So please do take a screenshot of this and also inform all of your New Zealand distributors and of course your Australian distributors too, in case they have people in New Zealand. So there's going to be different customer service times. This all depends on daylight savings for the States as well as New Zealand times, and that's why there's a bit of a variation in the times there. So there's an email specifically for New Zealand distributors. We use AU support at LifeVantage.com in Australia. New Zealand will be using NZ support at LifeVantage.com. Make sure that you use that. There will be certain people specifically assigned to check that email every 24 hours to make sure that all of your queries are answered. You'll also see that you have a different toll-free number to what we have here in Australia, so get familiar with that number and ring that number when you're calling from New Zealand. What products will be available in New Zealand? So it's very simple in that it's the same product as what we have in Australia. Moving forward, I believe that that is what will continue to happen. So Protandem, NRF1 and 2, ProBio, our skincare range, including the hand cream, and of course the hair care range at this stage. The products will have the Australian labels initially, and in a few months' time, the labels will be updated to include New Zealand information. Australia and New Zealand products will share the same labels. You'll see on the new labels will be more information. New Zealand does like to have more information with regards to the ingredients, etc. So I've seen one of these labels that they look really cool. A lot more information on there. So please be aware that soon we're just finishing stock. As soon as the stock is done, you'll see that there's a new label on the product. What payment methods will be available in New Zealand? So for you as a distributor, for customers or distributors, what can they use? Well, it's a credit or a debit card, a Visa or a Master at this stage. We have asked LifeVantage to have a look into PayPal and some other payment methods. PayPal at this stage charge a huge big processing fee, and it just does not make it viable for us to use that. We would have to push up our product pricing. So at this stage, we will just continue on with credit and debit cards, Visa and Master. How will New Zealand distributors earn their commission? Same as any other distributor through the Hyper Wallet. Please note there's a $4 US fee on every transaction that is transferred. Hyper Wallet accounts will be automatically created when the distributor enrolls, and as soon as the distributor has had their first commission paid, Hyper Wallet will send them an email and ask them to verify and activate the account. And once that's done, they can then register a bank account in New Zealand onto the Hyper Wallet and transfer money across into whichever bank account in their own name they'd like. And it can be multiple bank accounts too, and they can transfer just when they want. There's no set rules on that. So very similar system to what we have now. What is the return policy going to be in New Zealand? Well, it's exactly the same as Australia. Product and marketing materials returned within 30 days after purchase will receive a 100% refund, less the shipping and handling costs. So it needs to be an unopened product that'll be eligible for a full refund. If there's been a defective product, or sometimes if somebody has had a severe reaction to our product, customer service will authorize a full 100% refund. Remember that you need to contact customer service, get a return code issued, and the product needs to be returned within 10 days of that code being issued. Very simple process. When you get the return code, they'll give you a return address. You write the return code on there. It goes through as soon as the warehouse receives that. So it's not going to be sent back to the States. It'll be sent back to the warehouse in Auckland. They will then notify customer service, who will then credit the customer. What compensation plan will be used for New Zealand? Again, exactly the same comp plan as Australia. I will notify you that corporate have recently changed the document. We no longer have that same comp plan highlights document. There's a brand new one. So in the next week or so, we will do a team training to introduce that to you and to go through it. There's a lot more detail on that comp plan, which is actually fabulous for especially new distributors to understand it. So look out for that announcement. Will the New Zealand market have the Pacesetter program, the influencer trip, and the other global incentive programs? Absolutely yes. Global programs including Pacesetter, the influencer trip to Park City, that's to the Montage Hotel, the My LifeVantage, which is the $30,000 or 25,000 US that you get. I think mine was about 33,000 Aussie. And Pro 5 Summit will be offered in New Zealand. So everything the same, there is really no difference. Upcoming New Zealand events. Now, G is going to talk about these a little bit, but I'll just mention them for you quick so that you can add them to your calendar. Of course, on the 3rd, we've got Brian there. Then there's a launch meeting on the 12th of November from 7:30 to 9 at night. It's at the same venue, the Pullman Auckland Hotel. And we're going to have some of our corporate, Cortland will be there, Pam will be there, and a couple of the top leaders across the market will be there to present a business opportunity. And this is going to be like a little bit of a, congratulations, we've launched, like a little bit of a party, right? I'm going to be there, G's going to be there, Gail will be there, Helen, all of your leaders from New Zealand, of course, Van, and I'm not sure if Josie will be there, I don't think so, but Van will certainly be there. And a lot of your other New Zealand leaders will be there. So it's going to be a great celebration. Come and join us, and also bring your guests, because it is going to be a guest opportunity meeting. Then the next one to diarize is there will be the first New Zealand Pro 3 conference scheduled on the 28th of January from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. And what is this? Well, this is anybody who's achieved Pro 3 or above will be invited to come to this. And we will have a special international speaker and leader there to train you. Very, very amazing event this. So make sure that you and your team get it to at least Pro 3 or above by the end of December. That's the qualifying period. So from November to December, achieve Pro 3, and you and your sponsor will be available to attend. Isn't that cool? Next one is Auckland Opportunity Meeting then. That same night, January 28th, seeing we've got leaders in there from the States, we thought we may as well maximize and pull together a quick opportunity meeting. So from 7 to 8:30, same venue. You're going to have amazing presenters there talking about LifeVantage, the company, the products, the comp plan, the business opportunity, etc. So invite your friends and family and whoever you meet between now and then. Then the next date for you to stick into your diary is April the 23rd. We're going to have our second Pro 3 conference. Same deal from 1 to 5 in the afternoon, same venue. Again, it's Pro 3s and their sponsors that will be invited and they'll be recognized. So this is all new Pro 3s between January and March. And it's going to be an amazing event. We'll again have an international speaker there. Next one, this is our grand opening. So the same day, that night, we have a gala event happening. This is going to be a black tie, formal celebration, again at the Pullman. And here we're going to celebrate and recognize New Zealand founders. Now, G's going to tell you in a minute what a New Zealand founder is and the criteria for being recognized as a founder. But stick this date in your diary, April the 23rd from 6:30 to 9:30. Note that this is not for guests, this is for distributors and their family. Right, so let's have a look at some of the logistics behind the conversion into the New Zealand system. So what happens to a current New Zealander customer who is on subscription? At the moment, their product, as you know, would be arriving through America. and the postage on that is about $20 US. Now, what is going to happen to those people? So this is the scenario. I'm a current New Zealand customer. What happens to my subscription? Well, October will be the last month that your subscription will be sent through the US. From November, New Zealand subscriptions will be created by corporate automatically. So this transfer of your account as being a USA account will automatically be done by corporate. You don't have to do anything as a customer. The system is automatically going to switch your domicile warehouse where your order needs to come from to New Zealand. Remember that in New Zealand, friends, we're going to have the same product as what we have in Australia. So if somebody has been ordering different products, I'm going to tell you in a second what's going to happen to them. So for this customer, no action is required whatsoever. Let's say this person has been ordering Protandim. We are automatically in November going to switch their account to a New Zealand account. We are automatically going to change their subscription to come from New Zealand. And when they log into their back office, the only thing they're going to see is a little window will pop up and says, can you accept the terms and conditions for now being a New Zealand customer? They just click yes, and that's it. It's all done. Let's look at the next one. So I'm a current New Zealand customer. I receive Protandim, but I also get Petandim. What happens to my subscription? So once again, in October will be your last subscription through the USA. November, automatically, we're going to transfer that to New Zealand. So your Protandim will be sent out automatically from Auckland. Now, this is for the first time ever I've seen LifeVantage agree to the following. They are going to allow all New Zealand customers to have 2 subscriptions. One from Auckland, which is all the Australian products, and one from the USA, which are products outside of what's available in New Zealand. So if somebody wants to order their Petandim or their Axio or their Physique, they can continue to do that. What they need to do, once it's been converted, what they need to do is contact customer service on that 080424302 number and set up their USA subscription. Now that subscription can be a quarterly one, so they save on the shipping. The shipping fee on the US order is going to be exactly what it is at the moment, but at least they still have the option to order in those other products. Isn't that amazing? I so wish we could have that in Australia. The reason the company has had to agree to that is because it's very difficult to say to somebody who's been buying product from you monthly that, sorry, suddenly you can't get it anymore. And so really that's why we have to allow 2 different subscriptions. So let me clarify, a new customer or a customer in New Zealand in November doesn't have to do anything if the order is just Protandim NRF1, NRF2, our skincare, our hair care, or Physique. Sorry, ProBio, not Physique, ProBio. So the regular products that we have in Australia. If they have a product that's outside of that range, so the Axio, the Physique, the Omegas, or Petandim, and they want to order that, they simply have to contact customer service, set up a second subscription, which will be coming from the US, delivering those products for them. It's absolutely amazing. This is a very important fact to note. So subscription dates. If the customer or distributor subscription in New Zealand or somebody converting to New Zealand is dated for the 5th or the 10th, please note that the order will only ship on the 12th of November. So in one day, all of those orders are going to run through the system. Don't panic in your business when you see, oh my gosh, my subscriptions are way less than what they were before on the 5th and the 10th, because they're not going to run, but they're all going to run through on the 12th. It's a special run we're doing. So the orders for the 5th and the 10th will be shipped on the 12th of November. And from December, they'll go through as normal. They'll go through on the 5th or on the 10th. If your subscription date is the 15th or the 20th, your order is going to go through as normal. It's only the 5th and the 10th that's affected. Right, New Zealand distributors and customers can have 2 separate subscriptions. I've mentioned that to you. So one with the New Zealand products and the other with the USA products. Anyone who wants to set up as a customer with US products, you have to call and you will not be able to get that in your back office. Please remember that. Customers will not be able to go into their back office and select USA products. They have to call in for that. This is only available for customers, not for distributors. Right, now let's look at customers upgrading to distributors. So from 12th of November, all New Zealand customers, as soon as their accounts have been converted to New Zealand, will be able to log into their back office, and on the right-hand side, they'll see an upgrade to distributor option, and they can do that automatically themselves. Alternatively, they can fill out an application form to be a New Zealand distributor, which will be available from the 3rd of November at the Brian Dixon event. We're going to hand them out. They'll also then be in the back office available to print out. So if a person does not want to just go into their back office and upgrade, they can complete that form. Please make sure they write their customer ID number on the form. Don't include credit card information. Customer service will call them for the information, and then they don't have to worry about processing it themselves. So we will do it on behalf of them. You can also hand the forms into us, because we're going to have a little control center set up at the Pullman Hotel in New Zealand for the next 10 days, literally. So from about the 3rd, G, myself, and a couple of other people will be there right through until the 13th. You can take in the form, and instead of emailing it to compliance, you can hand it to one of us. I suggest you do that, because then we have control over what goes through, but it's really up to you. Okay, let's look at this. I'm a current LifeVantage distributor. I may be in Australia and I need to change my home market to New Zealand. What happens? You need to fill out the New Zealand distributor agreement. This is very, very important. Every single person that is transferring to New Zealand as they distribute their home market as a distributor needs to fill out the form. It's not going to be changed any other way. So fill out the New Zealand distributor agreement form. Again, I suggest you hand it to either Gail, Helen, myself, or Van, or G, one of the leaders, or Pammy or Claire once they get to New Zealand, and we will make sure it gets processed right there in New Zealand. Corporate are sending out, I believe there's going to be about 7 of us, making sure that everything is processed, people are placed in the correct positions, and all runs smoothly. So you are not required to purchase a new starter kit or a new pack. Remember that. You don't have to. If you're a current distributor, you do not have to buy another pack. If you are going to fill out the form, please make sure that your ID number is on there so that we can merely do the transfer across to the different region. That's really all that happens. Your title, your rank, your pay set of qualification, everything else remains the same. There's no difference whatsoever. If you have distributors who say, oh, seeing I'm going to change to another market, I want to change sponsors, it's not allowed. Absolutely no go. Corporate have told us it will not be allowed at all. We need this to be a safe transfer and transformation, really transfer, should I say, to another market without distributors feeling like they can jump from one sponsor to the next. Please, guys, it's an absolute no-go. Good news, though, is with customers, you will be able to replace your customers who are upgrading to a distributor. That's the only situation, the only case when you can reposition or replace is when a customer is going to upgrade to being a distributor. You cannot change complete legs though, so it's got to remain within the same sponsor. But let's say I signed up somebody and I think, oh darn, I wish I'd put them on a different leg. It's still within my business. It's not affecting, me. I'm still the sponsor. I can move that person into a different leg. So I believe that their positions will be able to be shifted. So what you got to do is when you fill out this form for them to upgrade, you just need to write in the sponsor number and your number, and then the position number where they need to be placed. Put in the ID number with that as well. I hope that's clear, guys. Right, current LV distributor changing home market to New Zealand. What happens to my hyper wallet? So if you've already got money sitting in a hyper wallet in a different country and now you're moving your business to New Zealand, this is important. If you have a balance on hyper wallet and you'd like to have that converted to New Zealand, you have two options. The first is that you can have hyper wallet exchange it within the wallet for a fee, or you can ask LifeVantage to pull back the dollars from your account and re-enter it into the amount in New Zealand into your New Zealand hyper wallet. So either hyper wallet can do it for you, or you can ask LifeVantage to withdraw it and then place it into the correct wallet. I will find out for you the exact procedure on that, how you do that. If you just contact customer service, they haven't really told us on that, but I'll come back to you. I'm a LifeVantage customer from outside of New Zealand. How can I be a LifeVantage customer in New Zealand? So this is a customer who wants to transfer to being a customer in New Zealand. Same deal. You fill out the New Zealand customer agreement form, write down your current ID, and you can submit it to one of us or submit it to compliance, and they will do the transfer. I have some New Zealand Global Customer Program customers in my organization who will be upgrading to a New Zealand distributor. Will I be eligible for the Smart Start and Launch bonus from their orders? So this is a customer who's going to upgrade and be a distributor. And the question is, will I be earning Smart Start and Launch bonuses from their orders? The answer is absolutely yes. Now, normally, this is what happens. When a customer starts ordering, you are earning Smart Start on the first calendar month's orders up to 1,000 PV. So let's say your customer has done a big product order and they've placed like a 500-point order in their first calendar month. You would have, as the sponsor, earned Smart Start bonus on that. When they then upgrade to being a distributor and they put through a platinum pack, our system says it only pays Smart Start up to 1,000 points. So that would mean you would only earn Smart Start on 500, and the other 500 points you would be paid between the 2 and 9% residual, depending on where they're positioned in your business. However, with the change of New Zealand opening, we have managed to get corporate to agree to start on a complete clean slate when it comes to customers. So in other words, even if you have earned Smart Start bonus on your customers' previous orders, there's going to be a complete clean slate and you will be able to earn Smart Start on at least 1,000 points again. Guys, this is a big deal. Corporate are losing money doing this, but they've agreed to that. Understand, though, that there is no clean slate when it comes to distributors. If your distributor decides to buy another pack, and everybody has an option to do that, you can buy another pack at any time. You are not going to earn Smart Start on that again if you've already been paid up to the 1,000 points on Smart Start. Okay, so we will not apply the Smart Start Clean Slate to New Zealand Global Customer Program customers who remain as customers. So in other words, if you've already earned Smart Start on your customer, your New Zealand customer, this clean slate is not applicable to them. This is only applicable to a customer upgrading to being a distributor. It's not customer orders. It's customer going to be a distributor. I know this is a lot of information, so we'll make the PowerPoint available that you can read through that again afterwards. But please do shout if you have any questions once we've done. Right, I have some non-New Zealand distributors who will be switching to New Zealand distributors. Will I be eligible for the Smart Start and Launch bonus from their orders? I mentioned to you no. So that's only applicable to customers upgrading, but a distributor switching to another market means you've already earned Smart Start on them. There's no way corporate can pay out that 40% again, so the answer is no. How will New Zealand commissions be calculated for November? Very important to note this. For the weekly bonuses, purchases made between November 12 and November 24 will be combined into one pay week. Commissions for this pay week will be calculated on November 25th. So in other words, November in New Zealand, we are going to see only one big payment made on weekly bonuses. And it's just because it's a new system. There's a lot of transferring going on, and it's a bit difficult to pay the normal weekly commission. So it's going to all be paid on the 25th of November. Or it'll be calculated on the 25th, and normally it's paid like 2 days later. The primary monthly commissions run for November will be calculated in December according to the normal process. So in other words, whatever goes through in November and those repeat orders will be calculated by the end of November, and you will earn that in mid-December. All volume from November 12th through to the 30th will be all combined and paid out according to the New Zealand comp plan. Also, all volume that you've had prior to November 12th will remain in your account as a distributor. You're not going to lose any volume. Launch bonus is paid based on the previous month's paid rank of Pro 3 and above. Therefore, newly signed up distributors will start receiving the launch bonus from the following month at the earliest. Please remember this. If you have a brand new distributor in November, go Pro 3 or above. Let's say this 12th of November, because you've been working with them, they've got a heap of applications to put through, and on the 12th of November, they rank to Pro 3. Please note that launch bonus is not paid in your first month because our system hasn't ticked over yet and registered that person to be a Pro 3. They will only start earning launch bonus from the next month. This is a standard arrangement in our comp plan. Right, how will New Zealand commissions be calculated for November? So the Smart Start bonus, we will apply the Smart Start Clean Slate to restart at 1,000 points for upgraded customers who have become distributors, and that'll be paid as normal. There's no variation in time there. So 25th is when you're going to be paid that Smart Start bonus. We will not apply the Smart Start Clean Slate to New Zealand customers. I have mentioned that. And please note this, that no backdating requests are allowed in November. Yeah, it's just the company has told us that. I'm not exactly sure why, but we cannot backdate any transactions into November. This is super exciting news, is what is the peg rate for New Zealand. Now, if you don't know what the peg rate is, it's that conversion we use to determine your commission. So, for instance, if you are paid 40% on 1,000 point pack, that's 400. Now, we take the 400 and we convert it to our local currency. And in Australia, it's times 1.25. Oh my gosh, look at this, New Zealand. Times 1.52. That means for every platinum pack you enroll, you'll be earning 608 New Zealand dollars. Pretty cool. So your peg rate is set at 1.52, and that is reviewed every few years. So it's a nice rate to start off with. Are we using the same product as the USA? So this is product specific product, right? So no, ProBio and NRF2 are different compared to the US. So if your customers have been buying ProBio, or you have, or obviously a lot of them have been buying NRF2, note the difference. The New Zealand ProBio is the DR Cap one. It's the same one we have here in Australia, whereas the US one has BioTrack. It's really exactly the same thing. DR Cap is a trademarked capsule that goes over the bacteria to keep it intact and keep it working, or keep it from disintegrating for a long time, 52 minutes. BioTrack does much the same thing. BioTrack is also a trademark in the States. The reason we couldn't use BioTrack for the product in Australia is because it's not a TGA approved facility, and TGA just wouldn't allow it. So we had to go DR Caps, which in fact is a better quality product in any way. Corporate have told us that the tests they've done has shown better results on the DR Cap product. So the testing is still ongoing, you see there, but they're saying that it is actually a great product. NRF2, what's the difference? The US formula contains magnesium stearate, whereas the Australian formula does not. And maltodextrin is used in place of magnesium, but they both play the same role. So our studies show there is no significant difference at all. Most of your customers won't even know that, they won't care about it, they just want the NRF2. It does the same job, it's just different countries, oftentimes there's different regulations. So why are the product different? There's your reason. The regulations for dietary supplements are different in the US, Australia, and New Zealand, and therefore the formulas were adjusted accordingly. What happens to the existing New Zealand customers' online website? Well, this site will remain active until the end of November. You will be able to keep purchasing the US LifeVantage products until then. So this is through your back office, or if you just log on or sign somebody on. But from November it's November the 11th it stops. From November 12th, the New Zealand corporate referral site will go live as New Zealand products only. The weekly bonus is on the commissions volume generated from November 1 through to the 11th through the New Zealand customer only website will be paid as usual. So it's only really from the 12th up to the 25th that's going to be combined and you'll be paid a few days after the 25th. So from the 1st to the 11th, you'll be paid as usual. Now that was a mouthful. I hope that hasn't made you feel like, oh my goodness, but we will share the slides because that's a lot of information for all of us. Let me introduce to you G. She's an Elite Pro 8 on the Sunny Coast as well. And G's going to go through the incentives, some amazing incentives we're launching in New Zealand, as well as some event dates and the shipping and the product pricing. Thanks, G.
Thanks, Charlotte. Hi, my name is Grania, but everyone calls me G, for those of you that don't know me. So I'm going to jump straight in with shipping. Well, the good news is that it is going to be housed in New Zealand, which is super exciting. It's DB Shankar, who the company have already used in Europe and been very pleased, so they understand our systems, which is quite exciting. There is going to be two types of different pricings. You can see here it's very reasonable. And the great thing is we really fought to get the pricing, because in remote, normally around New Zealand, it's more expensive. So we've been very lucky that we were able to keep the one price, no matter if they're in Christchurch, Dunedin, Invercargill, which is great news. So pricing for under a kilo is only $7.75, and for anything over it is $9.50. So under a kilo could be a shampoo, a conditioner, and 4 per tandem. So you actually do get quite a lot. Delivery time anywhere on the North Island is 2 to 3 business days. South Island can be anywhere from 5 to 7 days. So here's some of the pricing. It's finally out. I know everyone's been dying to actually see. So the Activated Essentials, the subscription is $226. The Variety Bundle is $468, which we've got. The Dual Synergizer is $150 because the thing is, and Protandem is $76. Now, the price, the Australian, because some people, will be looking at the Australian price. The Australian price is actually the cheapest around. It's actually even cheaper than the USA, just due to our rate of exchange. So this is all in accordance with, if you look, this is what people have been paying with the $41 US. It's basically the exact same amount. And then you have the NRF1 and everything like that. So you can take a picture. We will have this up as well. Here you can see True Science, the hair care, $184, shampoo, conditioners, all the hand cream and stuff. And here's the packs. So we've been able to keep it under $2,000, just because the GST is more expensive over in New Zealand. And the packs are the same as Australia with a bit less per tandem. So we think with the Platinum pack, there's a variety pack that's going to have some hair care, you know, the NRF1, NRF2. It's just going to have a variety pack. We'll know exactly what's in that. The platinum pack has got 15, I think, NRF1s and 15 NRF2s, but we will be notified of the exact amounts that are in there. Gold enrollments, as you can see, 1,063. So the PV is the same as what we get over in Australia. The prices have gone up, though, to reflect the extra GST and also the different rates of exchange between New Zealand and Australia. So the promotions that are happening. So for the customers, the first 50 New Zealand customer enrollment orders or spot orders, they will receive 1 free hand cream each as a welcome and a thank you for enrolling. And this is the Pro3 conference that Charlotte was talking about. So this is the first thing that I would be running with your new distributors to try and get them to get to this new Pro3 conference. So basically, November to December, the 31st of December, that there would be a Pro3. Them, as well as their sponsors, will be able to attend the Pro3 conference on the 28th. If you've already been an Australian distributor, you need to be a paid as Pro3 by the end of December. So I thought that was really good of the company. You know, really wanting to, with the pioneers that have helped to launch it, they have just said as long as you get back to it, they're happy. So no clean slate for distributors switching to brand new distributors yet. So you just got to get back to paid as Pro3 and you'll be able to do it. The next one is the Pro3 conference, also on April the 23rd. Then that will be the Pullman again, January to March. So this is the next Pro3, and you have until the end of March for you and your sponsor to be at that event as well. So early achievers, this is another great, so you've got, the first thing is rank to Pro 2 and Pro 3. That's the first roadmap. And they will earn, you know, their $100 US, and we will find out what the conversion, it'll be the 1.52 times the 100 US, so 152 New Zealand dollars, which is great. And then the 250 US if they go Pro 3. So that would be the first thing. Pro 3 conference, the next thing. Then for the early achievers, if they make Pro 4 by the end of December, and the prize will be free admission to Leader Academy, dinner at the Sky Towers, and 400 Australian dollars redeemable after the event. And also there's going to be a special recognition on stage for these New Zealanders that come over that have become an early achiever. So if you have been operating out of Australia and had been an Australian resident distributor and you'll be changing address, you need to rank advance before the 31st of December. So for example, if you are a Pro 3, you need to really go up a rank. You need to rank to Pro 4 by the end of December. If you're already a Pro 4, you need to rank to Pro 5 before the end of December 2019. So they still want to include you all in these incentives. It's just got to be a little bit different for you. This is an incredible New Zealand founders, very, very achievable to be recognized as a New Zealand founder. Now, this is one time only. There will never be, in 10 years' time, you will always have the title as New Zealand founder. You can have that, you can put branded on you. This is a really great title to be able to say that you were one of these founders, and I think it's very, very achievable. So the qualifying period is the November through to March 2020. Must be a distributor joining or converting on that 12th November. So it still includes for all the people that are transferring over. So tier 1, become a Pro 4, maintain 1 month, and then your last 2 months you must stay, you can't go below Pro 3. Very, very achievable. You would, in April at the big grand ball that we spoke about, you'll attend the grand opening. Your prize, you'll be a New Zealand Premier Founder title. You will have free admission to the ball. recognition item, and also 250 New Zealand dollars. Pro 2, Pro 5, same, maintain 1 month, and then don't go below Pro 3 and above. Same thing, but you get 550 New Zealand dollars this time. And then the tier 3 is Pro 6. You actually have right through until March to actually become this. So you could work your whole way that you become Pro 6 by the end of March, attend the grand opening, free admission, recognition, and 750 New Zealand dollars. And if you become elite, which would be phenomenal, by the end of March, you will become a New Zealand elite founder, as will the Pro 6, free admission, and 1,250 New Zealand dollars. Amazing incentives to really sit with your team and plan and work out their first 6 months. What an amazing way to really skyrocket your business. If you did that with 10, you worked on all your distributors becoming Pro 4, and they were across 5 legs, that's you becoming a Pro 6. You know, you work on it, even like for Pro 7, you would just need more Pro 4s or people becoming Pro 5s. Very, very achievable. You can start straight away now working on these plans with your distributors that are even going to be coming on, so that you've got a roadmap: Pro 2, Pro 3, Pro 3 conference, Pro 4, founder, Pro 5. And then there's one more, which I love, Pro 5 Summit. The company would really like to see some New Zealanders actually get to the March Summit. So for New Zealanders, if you qualify Pro 5 November, December, and January, you will be allowed to attend the Pro 5 Summit in March. So this is only for new distributors though. So it's new distributors that come in that become Pro 5 November, December, January, that they will actually allow you to do this. So very exciting. The cutoff dates for other markets is December, but they're extending it by 1 month to help you all. And then it will just go back to the normal January to June, and that you would go in August or July to December, and you would have the exact same as all the other countries to get to the Pro 5 Summit. So myself and Charlotte are available if there is any questions in the chat. Doesn't look to be. If any, Leslie Funnel, you mentioned customers can have a US and a New Zealand account so they can get per tandem, but distributors can't. I have a vet thinking about becoming a distributor. How will he get per tandem? He would have to open up a customer account as well, and then just ring through and just get per tandem that way. Distributors are not able to, so you would have to open up a customer account and call in the order. What happens to people that are underneath the person you shift when they become a distributor? Amazing, so generous. I believe they would move over with the person as well. So actually, it would depend. I'm not sure about that. What do you think, Charlotte?
I think you can request what happens with them. Normally,
okay.
if you move somebody that's got a leg under them, the whole thing moves.
The whole thing normally moves.
I have seen sometimes where people have asked to just move the one position and the rest to still stay where they are, and that can happen as well. You just got to clearly stipulate what you want done.
Yeah, he doesn't need to get the new customer. He can open up that customer account anytime. He just needs to use it as a call-in. Is there a Disty pack like the Aussies have, a $55 pack?
The starter kit?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, there is, yeah. The difference with the New Zealand 1G is it's a digital one. So
yes, so it's not going to have that box that we normally get. We're going paperless, which is fantastic because so many of us don't tend to do much with that box. So that's the great thing, is that New Zealand will actually have a paperless starter kit. What's the price of the digital starter pack for New Zealand? I will have to have a look.
Same price, G. Same.
55.
I think it was 55 from memory.
Okay.
We have received the link for the price list for New Zealand, but it does not include the distributor price list yet. So we can put that one up for you. I only just got that this afternoon. We'll put it up for you. And as soon as the distributor one comes through, we'll share that as well. And I'm sure that starter kit will be on there.
One thing that we have been asked is not to actually put it publicly. You can, as teams, look at it, but please don't put these prices anywhere public. We are being given, we fought to try and get all these prices now before it launched. So if you can just respect what corporate is saying and not put it up anywhere publicly on any of the websites.
So Helga's asking, where can we find the New Zealand enrollment form? It'll only be available from the 3rd, Helga, and it's going to be in your back office under communication library. It'll be in the same section. Amy wants to know, can the New Zealand customers still stay in a 3-monthly ordership? Yes, absolutely.
So you just probably need to ring in and create that quarterly ordership for them.
Or even email G, they can email that NZ support email and they'll set it up for them. Deb, the app is not available yet in New Zealand. It's going to take a little bit. I think the launch date was around the same date as we're doing the big event, which is April. Anything else, G?
The only other thing is that when they start, it won't be exactly the same system like ours. It'll be the old-fashioned. It'll be the join us. We'll be doing it a little bit differently until April when it rolls over to the system that we have. So there are things we can show people and go through with people. It's our old system that we had in Australia, and that's the Evo system, which we'll be using for the first 4 months until it goes live the 23rd of April, and then it'll be the same system we have.
Gee, Coral is asking, how do we convert an Australian customer to New Zealand? You just fill out the form, Coral. There's going to be a form that's a customer enrollment form. Just fill out that form, write the customer's ID at the top, and send it in to customer service or compliance, and they'll do that for you.
Yeah. Was that for the New Zealand or Australia tour? Jess is just asking about the venues that you were saying might have to be changed.
Oh, we're not changing.
I think it's just the room.
Getting bigger rooms, yeah. So no venues are changing. Courtney's saying, does he need to get the customer account before November? Or is that to order the New Zealand product?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's an ongoing thing. I don't believe that there's a set date on that, but I will clarify that one, G.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, it's supposedly going to be open, so I would think that it's going to be that you will ring in and say, I'd like to open up a customer account through the CCAP or the GCAP.
Yeah.
And they will do it themselves, like the customer service will create the account for you.
Yes. So as far as I know, it's indefinitely.
Yes.
But we'll confirm that one for you. Yes, you can have the notes. We'll share the PowerPoint with you. I think that's it.
The reason why, Amy, that the New Zealand Pro 3 event was on then is so that Darren Jensen and Rachel and people from corporate were able to come en route to Leadership Academy and stop off in New Zealand. Yes, it's very close. That's why it is so close to Leadership Academy. So it's on the Tuesday, then the day off Wednesday for everyone to fly to to fly to Australia, and then the Thursday, the special training for anybody who qualified for that extra training.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much, G. Thank you, everyone. If you have any questions that come to mind, just pop it up in our Team Activate Facebook group and we'll get you the answers if we don't have it. Otherwise, happy building in New Zealand. This is going to be an amazing market for us with lots of potential, and I can see a couple of new ranks breaking next month because there's so many of you working so hard at getting this launch to really make a difference in your business. So work on anybody that you know in New Zealand, send them to the event, and if you need any kind of three-way calls or one-on-one meetings or so forth in Auckland in the next 10 days, then let us know. We'll happily accommodate you while we're over there.
And also, if you look up in the Australia, New Zealand events page, I have got events for myself and Dr. Gail Pearson. There will be Gisborne, Dunedin and Wellington up there. And we are starting the events up around the Bay of Islands as well next week. So just book people in there and we'll be able to look after them. I will have all the separate flyers up there by tomorrow. Thank you.
Alrighty, thanks everyone. Bye.